Well, I've been doing a little bit of scouting and looking for trees in areas like this where there's a clearing out here. It's a transition. It's like basically a staging area full of weeds and briars and all kinds of stuff for the deer to feed on while they come off bedding and head towards the destination food source, which is ag fields. Only problem with this spot is there's no tree to get a climber in. This is the closest one. You could maybe get up about 8 feet in a climber, but that won't let you see over the undergrowth. So what I'm going to do is show y'all my setup for this year. This will be my mobile hunting setup for public land. I still have a few tree stands that are hung on private that I just have them sitting out there all year, and I go hunt them a couple times. But this is going to be my run and gun, go find a spot and hunt setup. Now, some of y'all may have seen my video last year. Me and my buddy Adrian showed all of our mobile setups, including our climbers and lock-on and saddles and all that. This is just my setup for this year. So last year I got into saddle hunting just because of the way I hunt and how overgrown a lot of this public land is, and how you get a lot of gnarly trees in good spots that you just can't get a climber into, and you can't set up on the ground because the vegetation's too high to see past 10 yards. You get up in a tree that's got a few limbs, it's a funky looking tree, but you can get up there 15-20 feet and look down into openings, clearings, look down when there's a trail that's open here. It's just I just spooked some deer. Speaking of which, this is a staging area and the deer are coming through now as the sun's starting to set. Anyways, I'm just going to get down to the meat and potatoes and show you all what I've got. This backpack is the same backpack from last year. Just a cheap Magellan brand backpack I got from Academy for like, I don't know, 39 bucks or something. It's even broken a couple of straps, but it works. I made one modification to it, and that is these buckles. I bought these strap buckles, and I bought something called a speedy stitcher, and I stitched on these straps. I got them both from REI, and that was an easy little mod to hold my sticks on. You may have noticed my sticks hang down really low. They hang down like a foot below the bottom of the backpack, but they don't stick up above my head. I did that on purpose because when you're going through thick stuff like this trying to get to that tree and you got something coming up over your head, it gets caught on everything, makes all kinds of noise. You have to stop, go back, pull the branch off of it. So I have my sticks hanging down. These are Lone Wolf sticks. I'll get to these in a minute. Everything I need to hunt except my bow is in here. So last year I hunted out of a sit drag, which is a very minimalistic saddle. It's actually made to be a sling for sitting at ground level up against a tree, but a lot of people use them as a tree saddle to hunt up at 15-20 feet or whatever. But I had to use a safety harness with that, so I got a rock climbing harness so I wouldn't fall out of it. Now I've made a few upgrades this year, and I will be hunting out of the tethered mantis, which some of y'all have probably heard of it, with the saddle hunting industry starting to grow pretty quick in the past year or so. This is only weighs about 15 ounces without this pouch. The pouch comes separate. It's called a sys hauler, spelled S-Y-S, and this basically got a little drawstring on the top. It's got two side pouches which are perfect when I get up there and I'm hunting. This side pouch perfectly fits a thermocell. You can keep this in your pack like I had right there, but most likely what I'm going to be doing is wearing it into the woods because it is so lightweight that you can just buckle up before you even get into the woods and just wear it in. So it's basically like wearing your tree stand, climbing up the tree and putting your tether around the tree and hooking it in, and you're ready to go. So this piece of rope in the front is called the bridge. This is what holds you up to your tether, which I'll show you when I get in the tree. It's hooked into these big heavy duty loops. This saddle is so strong that it broke the equipment they tested it with. So you're not going to fall, it's not going to break. This rope is called Amsteel. If you've heard of it, you know what I'm talking about. It's made of a material called Dyneema, which is lighter and stronger than pretty much any other rope you can get. Buckle it up, cinch it down. We got two leg straps with these two G hooks. Now, you can hook them up two places. It doesn't matter, it's just preference. You got a loop right here And you've also got a loop back here. That's just up to whatever's more comfortable for you. You don't want these to be tight or uncomfortable. They're really just there to keep the saddle in place. So cinch them down a little bit, but leave them kind of loose so they don't get in the way. And there you go. I could probably tighten this waist buckle a little bit more, but that's perfect. Now, if I don't want this bridge getting in the way, just tuck it out of the way or whatever. I'm ready to walk in the woods like this. So let's get into the climbing method. Like I said, these are Lone Wolf sticks with just a couple slight modifications. The original strap broke, so I put another one on there. I put some what are called stealth strips. It's just a soft micro suede permanent tape that you stick on anything metal that makes noise when it bangs into something. So this really deadens the sound. Also has a pretty cool camo pattern. I'll have a link to those. I'll have a link to everything in the description. So if you see something interesting, look down below and you'll see it there. The straps to hold these onto the tree are not the original Lone Wolf cam buckle straps. Those work perfectly fine, but Tethered just came out with what's called Versa straps, and it's meant to go on a stick with the Versa buttons. Now, these are the mini Versa straps. They have a full-size Versa strap that will fit on the standard Versa buttons on a Lone Wolf stick or on other climbing sticks. The mini Versa straps the loops are a little bit too small to fit, so I went and got a steel spacer. You can't see the spacer. I got a steel spacer in there, and I think it's an 1.125" or 1.25" fender washer, and used the original bolt and tightened it down real tight. So basically just made my own Versa button that's a little bit smaller, and I'm going to spray paint over that because it's a little shiny. But the Versa straps, they're made out of the same thing as the bridge on the Tether. They're made out of Dyneema, and the mini Versa straps have a break strength of like 1,800 pounds, so they'll hold your stick. I don't even know if the stick can hold that. It's just something cool I thought I would try. Like I said, I like the original cam buckles, but these are a lot quieter and lighter weight, so I thought I would give them a try this year. I've also got a few other things in here. I'll show you when we get up in the tree. Got knee pads. That's a preference thing. Some people in a saddle like to sit down with your knees against the tree, and you're going to want to have some knee pads if the tree's got rough bark. These are just really cheap, like $5 knee pads. Predator platform, that's for your feet. That's where your feet are going to go while you're in the saddle. So half your weight goes into your saddle, half of it goes into your feet, so your weight is distributed nicely and it's comfortable. Got a couple other goodies. Yeah, I've got my camera gear in there. Got my Gatorade because it's hot out. I don't know if y'all can tell I'm sweating, but that's another good thing for this hauler here. It's going to be my snack pouch. That's what it's for. I'm going to put Gatorade, little Debbie cakes, all that good stuff in there, and my Thermacell. This is a homemade lineman's rope. The Tethered Mantis you can get with a lineman's rope that's a lot stouter rope than this, that's probably safer. I'm kind of a smaller guy. I don't weigh that much, and this is still climbing rated rope, so I'm not going to fall as long as I'm buckled in. This is an Ascender. This one's called the Ropeman 1, made by Wild Country. And if you know what a prusik knot is, it works the same as a prusik knot, but it's easier to slide up and down, and it bites down on the rope even harder. So this just makes my lineman's rope adjustable. So I'll put it around the tree. I want to cinch it down a little bit. I can cinch it down and be closer to the tree. If I need more room to work, I pull on that tab and let the rope out, and I've got more room to lean back and work on hanging my platform or whatever. The Mantis has two loops. It's got the big loop that your bridge is attached to, and it's got a smaller loop for your lineman's belt or your lineman's rope. And so I just clip it in when I'm walking into the woods. That way all I got to do is unhook one carabiner, throw it around the tree, throw my stick on, and start climbing. One modification I've done to my Mantis is this piece of shock cord, which is just a little elastic band. I've got one on either side. Since I'm climbing with 3 sticks, I'm going to carry 2 up with me. I just loop that cord over there and hang the stick. And so I climb with a stick on either side so they're not banging into each other. And as I get up on my first stick, I pull one out, hang the next stick. Now, some of y'all may be wondering, how high can I get with 3 sticks? Most people hunt with 4 of these. Now, to save a little weight and keep things a little more compact, I did this last year. I've got 3 sticks and what's called a movable aider. I keep that in the top pouch in my backpack right here, this little pouch. This is just a piece of climbing tubular webbing. Got it from REI as well. They got all kinds of climbing gear there. Tied I believe a figure-8 knot or something in there that's rock solid. And a piece of garden hose on the other end to hold it open for your foot, kind of like a stirrup. So with 3 sticks, I get up as high as you could with 4 sticks, using just a piece of webbing and garden hose. I did this last year and it worked really well for me. Now I'm going to take my first stick, get the steps out. This one needs a little grease, it kind of squeaks. Take my strap. Now normally if I was climbing, that's about as high as the stick could go to get my foot on the bottom step. So I'm going to put a full step higher, put it right here. You want to pull it tight and see which loop you can fit over the button. So see where it's woven there. And it just barely fits. Doesn't have to be super tight, because once you put weight on that stick, everything bites into the tree. Give it a good little tug. That's good to go. I like to take the extra strap on a smaller tree like this, wrap it around. That way it's not blowing in the breeze. So let's get our aider, throw it over, and climb up on the first stick. Take my backpack with me. First things first, get that lineman's rope ready. As soon as I get up on this first stick, I'm going to hook up. So, you put the aider right up against the heel of your boot and keep your toe into the tree so you don't kick out. Now some aiders have multiple steps. The more steps you've got, the more risk of swinging out and falling. With a single step aider, it has not given me any problems at all. And you're up on the stick. Hook up that lineman's rope. And now I've got both hands free to work with me. Now that I'm up on the stick, I reach down, pick up the aider, throw it over my neck. Reach down here, pull one of my sticks off the loop of shot cord here. Here's 1 step, here's 2 steps. Take the aider, hook it over the stick, and so forth. Alright, I've got up as high as I want to get on this tree. Notice it forks, it gets real skinny, so I'm going to put my platform down here. First thing I do, in my other side pouch on my backpack, I've got this accessory hook belt made by HME. It's really cheap. I'll have a link to this as well. It's got 3 hooks and a cam buckle. So I'm just going to loop it around the tree, take my pack and throw it here so I can work out of it easily. Alright, now the Predator platform. Pull it down just a little to get it looped around that button. Alright, cinch it down nice and tight. Push down on it and cam it over. If it doesn't feel tight enough, do it again, make sure it's tight. Then cam it over, and now it's solid. Now I'm still hooked up with the lineman's, like you should always be. Now it's time to put the tether on. This is the tether from Tethered. Also has the Ropeman ascender, but you can also use a prusik knot if you don't want to spend the money on an ascender. Some people like the tether right around chin height or neck height. Some people like it at the top of their head. I like mine around forehead height. You just loop it through the loop like that and get it at the height you want it. And you can adjust it anytime. So you want this rope to be straight in the center like this. And take my bridge, clip it in, lock her down. Now let's tighten it up just a little bit. Now you're in, you're secure. It's time to undo the lineman's belt and stow that in the backpack. So I'm standing on the platform, leaning on the saddle. If it feels like it's pulling on you too much, hold the rope, let it down a little bit, find where you're comfortable. You might want to move this up or down, left or right. Just fiddle around with it, and it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. It's just as comfortable, if not more comfortable, than any portable lock-on that you'll ever use. So if I want to get up and face, say there's a deer behind me I want to shoot off to my right where I can't really shoot right-handed, you can stand up on the platform. There's plenty of room to stand on it. Turn around like this. Got your bow. Now you can shoot hard right. You can shoot behind you to your right, hard right. All the difficult shots you can shoot just by standing on the platform. Now, if you're shooting right-handed, a shot to the left is going to be easy. And you can even shoot behind you just by swinging around like this. So what about falling out of the saddle? You're obviously buckled up and it's not going to come off, but what if you fall? What's going to happen? Say I swing and fall. You're really not going to go anywhere except just sit up against the tree. And this tree's crooked, so I'm wanting to swing around the back side of it. You get on a straight tree, you won't even have that problem. I can swing around the right side, and I can keep my foot on the lip of this platform, and that platform is biting the tree so hard it will not kick out. So I can swing all the way around here like that, and I can shoot behind me and to the right like this too. So some of y'all may be thinking that's way too much movement, you're going to get busted. It's only as much movement as you make. You can sit perfectly still, just like in a tree stand. I'm guilty of moving around in a climber, a ladder stand, a saddle. You got to be still when it counts. And the saddle does not make you move around anymore. It gives you more opportunity to move around and shoot 360 around your tree. But the movement you make is all up to you. So normally I can sit here. If I'm looking ahead and there's a deer coming my way, I've got a tree trunk. Actually, in this tree, I've got 3 tree trunks in front of me. I blend in really well because I'm hiding behind tree limbs. So, say you're in a bigger tree, like a big oak tree or something, you can literally hide completely behind the trunk and wait for a deer to step into your shooting lane and then just peek out, draw, and shoot. The other good thing about it is you're leaning off the tree just like a limb. If you're wearing camouflage, especially camo that looks like tree bark, you pretty much just look like a tree limb up here. That's another thing I really like about this setup is your silhouette looks a lot more natural than it does in basically a chair hanging off the end of a tree, like a normal tree stand. So your profile is more streamlined. You look a lot more like part of the tree. You can hide behind the tree. You can be perfectly still, but you can also move around any which way and shoot any direction easily. It looks like a whole lot up front. I get this pretty frequently. A lot of people say that's way too much, that's going to take too long, it's too complicated. It is very versatile, very customizable, so yeah, it can get complicated if you want it to, but if you want to keep it simple, just get the bare basics, climb a tree and practice. If you can find somebody in your area who's into saddle hunting, they might let you try theirs out, so you don't have to go and just buy the whole setup and see if you like it. I would recommend going to shows where Tethered would be showing their products, letting people try it out. Saddlehunter.com has got a great group of people on there, and I believe they might even have a map of Saddle Hunter's location, so you can try to hook up with someone on there to try it out and see if you like it. Once you get the hang of it, you can climb up quietly, you can climb up quickly, you can shoot 360 degrees, blend in with the tree, and everything fits on your backpack. There's no metal frames getting snagged on underbrush. One of the big reasons I quit using a climber is because I've gone through so much undergrowth where the tree limbs and bushes get caught or smack against the aluminum, and I'm always getting snagged on stuff and always making a lot of noise. With this setup, with the sticks hanging down low, and I'm just wearing a backpack carrying my bow, I can sneak real quietly through just about anywhere. So I've taken long enough demonstrating. Normally the sun would still be up, but moving the camera around, getting everything situated, it started to get dark on me. Climbing down is exactly the same, just do everything in reverse. Very, very straightforward. It may seem like a lot at first, but I guarantee if you try it a few times, you might be surprised.